Right, so today I want to talk about this story that's heartbreaking and predictable in different ways. Obviously, heartbreaking in the fact that all these people that were killed, and predictable in the fact that people like me and others have been talking about this kind of stuff for a while now. Germany charges two Syrians, this is the title. Germany charges two Syrians with crimes against humanity, charges including 59 counts of murder, linked to UN exhibition of torture photographs in 2015. Now, basically, the majority, actually the overwhelming majority of Westerners, do not want all these refugees, immigrants, whatever you want to call them. The overwhelming majority of them aren't refugees. They're not economic immigrants. They're immigrants that basically want to come and mooch off the system for on average. Obviously, someone saying, "Well, I know a guy who's, from Syria or whatever, that's working and paying taxes and all this kind of stuff." Well, that doesn't change the fact that the overwhelming majority of them, or at least compared to the general population, are just coming because we have, in Germany, for is a great example, giving them all the free stuff. In Canada, it's even a bigger issue, in that they can come. If you claim refugee status, you get free healthcare, you get free dental, you get, I don't know, you pretty much get free room and board, basically, until your refugee hearing or whatever is heard. But, that stuff can take upwards of 5 years. So, obviously, it's worth the risk for them. But getting into this, if you had told people that, when this whole refugee, like I said, they're not refugees, the overwhelming majority of them, they're not refugees. If they were, they wouldn't be coming to Germany or Canada or Sweden or a lot of these crazy places they're coming. They'd be coming to other countries in the Middle East overwhelmingly. But let's just, just for the sake of the point, let's call them refugees. If you had been told that two of these people would go on to kill 59 people, would that change your, for the people that are supporting it still, would that change your mind a little bit? Like, you're willing to allow 59 people to be killed just to satisfy your virtue signaling, inner self? Like, I don't really have words for this, because crime in a lot of these countries, in the UK, has gone way up. Crime in London is out of control. It recently went higher than New York, and it was much lower than New York for the longest time. And now it's higher. In Sweden, it's out of control. In Germany, it's out of control. In pretty much every country that allowed this, it's out of control, but specifically the ones that brought in extremely high amounts. And that, in a nutshell, if you want to import the third world, you're going to get the third world. That doesn't mean that, like I always have to throw in this caveat, that everyone from there is going to do that. There is obviously some people that want to come and work and better themselves, but on average, when talking about this kind of stuff, we don't talk in exceptions, we talk in generalizations. And just because 1 in 10 people, or one in, it's definitely not anything near a majority of people. Just because a very small percentage of them are going to come and integrate into Western society and work and all this kind of stuff, doesn't mean that we should allow, the overwhelming majority of people to come. Basically, the point being of this video is that, if two of these people killing 59 people isn't enough to change your mind that maybe we've went too far in allowing this many people to come, then what is? Like, literally, what is? I don't see the fact that, a quarter of these people want to implement Sharia law, and those are just the people that are open about it. The fact that they're overwhelmingly, net negatives or net drains on society as far as, the tax base goes. I don't know what it would take for people to change their minds on this kind of stuff after hearing about this kind of stuff. And not only do these just include 59 counts of murder, there's tons of rape and sexual assault charges against them too. So not only have 59 people been killed, but imagine the amount of people that their life is changed, or maybe even just ruined. That if you're raped or sexually assaulted, especially violently, which I would bet money that they were pretty violently raped, then the chances of you being able to have a stable pair bonded relationship is going to go down a lot, because it's pretty hard to forget that kind of stuff when you've had it happen to you. And the other aspect of this story is, in the West, people on the left, but everyone's concerned about rape culture and consent and sexual assault and all this kind of stuff. And we have a culture that openly openly is a sexist culture, openly has a rape culture society. I mean, if you believe in Islam, you believe in raping or sexually assaulting non-believers is okay. It just goes to show the double standard of these people, that the people on the left, that they're literally willing to do whatever, even if it includes getting people killed. They're completely okay with that to get their agenda implemented. And I mean, this just goes to show the amount of people that overlook the amount of people killed by directly or indirectly by communism in the 20th century. A ton of people on the left are completely willing to overlook that just so they can satisfy their getting their political agenda implemented. If you're on the right and someone says something mean or hateful, well then that's a bridge too far. But hundreds of people getting killed or raped or sexually assaulted, that's you're just paranoid or Islamophobic, I guess, in this case, if you are concerned about this kind of stuff. And we have these examples like in Sweden, the sexual assault and rape cases in Sweden, I believe, hit an all-time high in like 2015 or 2016, and the number's gone up every year since then. So even an all-time high on top of an all-time high on top of an all-time high isn't enough to get these people on the left to admit that maybe our policies aren't quite working out. Maybe we need to rethink these things. And that just goes to show just how desperate people are to get their free stuff, their free healthcare, their welfare, their free college, all this kind of far left. I mean, they're not even really far left. It's most people on the left nowadays believe in at least the majority of this kind of stuff. I mean, if someone would have told you that a moderate leftist position, even as recently as 10 years ago, would be free healthcare for literally anyone, not even just citizens, literally anyone that wants to come there. I mean, they want to ban guns, even in the U.S. They want free college. They want taxpayers to pay for it. I mean, those are just a handful of things off the top of my head. I mean, they have openly racist policies. I mean, they want blacks, they want Hispanics, they want all these other races to be given unfair advantages that they haven't earned compared to whites or Asians. I mean, usually it's the race that suffers from those. So I don't want to talk too much about this issue, but basically the takeaway point being, if two of these asylum seekers killing 59 people, and I'm guessing that there was indirect or direct victims well into the hundreds from this kind of stuff, if creating that many victims was enough for you to reconsider your position and be like, yeah, we need to put a stop to this, and we need to send anyone back that isn't fully on board in integrating into Western culture, into getting a job, into whether it's I don't know if going to school is a good option, but working, going to college, or integrating into society, basically sending them back. And if they're genuine refugees, they would want to contribute to the society that they're in. If you're a refugee and you want to basically just go somewhere and take advantage of the system, then you're kind of an asshole. So if you want to be that much of an asshole, then you don't deserve to be in Western society. So if you want to come and contribute to society, then by all means, you should probably get the chance to come in. Even, I mean, if you're a refugee, it should just be temporary until you can get back to a safe place, back in, you know, your home country or closer to it. But other than that, there should be no refugees. I mean, the whole diversity is their strength. Honestly, it's a nice concept. I wish it were the case, but it isn't. It doesn't work. You look at, you know, all these areas now. People are. If diversity is our strength, then all these people coming would integrate into society. They would have similar interests. They would dress similar. They would, you know, have similar, you know, religiosity or lack thereof, I guess, for a better way of putting it. But they don't. It's just not the case. And like I said, it would be nice if we could have diversity, but we can't. And the other thing too is that the left doesn't even believe in diversity. They only believe. I mean, number one, if they actually believed in diversity, they would take seriously an area where they don't benefit from it. For example, you know, any area where whites, or specifically white men, are underrepresented, they would actually care about it. An issue that specifically faces men, especially white men, they would care about, but they don't. They only care about it when the issue directly benefits them. Having mass immigration directly benefits them because that's current and future votes. That's people who largely are going to be dependent on welfare. And like I said, therefore going to vote for them. And it's people that have similar utopian views of society. So I'll leave it there as far as this video goes. If you'd like to, make sure to hit that like and subscribe and stay tuned for more.